Good morning.
I'm Greg, I'm the database.
I'm Angela, Mission Excellence and Special Projects. You're here? Yep. Okay. I'm Vicki, Development and Marketing Director.
I'm Sharice Baxter, I'm Guest Services and the Interim Hospitality Manager.
I'm Liza Springmeyer. I'm the Major Guest and Stewardship Manager. Stephanie Stevens, Event Communications Manager. I'm Carrie, Guest Services in the Family Room. Casey Petor, Family Room Manager.
Mike Aguilar, Program Director. Ira Hinckley, Health Operations Manager.
Lauren, Volunteer and Community Outreach Manager. Oh, Jane. Wide awake Program Manager. Kim Bryant, and Guest Services and Development.
Rebecca Patterson, Guest Services.
I'm Blythe, I'm with Guest Services. I swear I'm not 14. Let's see your ID. I'll give it to you.
And Maria.
The total. Housekeeping,
She's not awake yet.
That's okay. Do you want to go get coffee? Oh, you've got a drink. Okay. So I want to tell you quickly about the day. It's a relatively packed agenda. So we are going to have a mission moment this morning. And in terms of why we're doing this, the goals are meant, the purpose of this day is to renew our focus on our mission and the impact of our mission, and to align our vision, sort of where we're going and how we're going to get there. So, and then overall joy and happiness. And I mean that somewhat flippantly, but also because I think it's important for us to get together once a year. Beyond a party, it's good for this team because there's such a great team up at the family room and here at the house, and I'm sure the folks at the family room feel like they're on an island sometimes. And different pieces of the house probably feel like they're on an island. And so I feel like it's a really important opportunity to kind of get together and align, get sort of a shared understanding of what's going on with the place. So there's that. Then we're going to talk about, I'm going to start at the beginning. Because we have several new staff members, we're going to do a quick sort of overview of the charity. Who we are, how we're structured, how we're organized, how we've grown, and what what our staff role is in the mission. And let's see if we can do this. Uh-oh. Our first technical glitch. Great. Uh-oh.
That's a secret.
Is it a capital? A capital?
Karen would really be after it. Yes, capital. Karen would say, actually, you have to change it now.
I'm not spelling it correctly. Two E's or EA? EA? EE?
Capital B, E-E,
P?
B, B, E-E-S, L-E-Y.
Oh, see, I had a Z. Okay. Here we go. Okay, good. Good start. Good start. Then we're going to talk about the 2014 team accomplishments, sort of what we were able to do together in 2014, and I think you'll find it remarkable. It's really unbelievable to me. Then we're going to talk about our strategic priorities organizationally. Then we're going to have a guest speaker come in who's going to talk about crucial conversations, and his name is J.D. Taylor, and he's with a company called Vital Smarts, and I won't say this in his introduction, but when we first started talking with this company, the first price they gave us for an hour-long presentation was $12,500. So we said, that may not work, and so they've agreed to our $350 budget. So after a lot of negotiation. So he should be really fabulous, I think. And the hope is that he will kind of tee up the conversations we're going to have at the end of the day. So then we're going to have lunch brought in. Then we're going to have some presentations, short presentations that Ira, Mike, Vicki, and Liza will provide for us. And then we'll have an exercise called So Now What in small groups, and we'll be done at 2. So does anybody have a question about so it's a really kind of packed agenda, and I want you to feel safe and comfortable to ask questions or challenge things or put anything out there, even if we can't solve it. It's best, in the name of Crucial Conversations, to put it out there, because at least then we know about it and we could do something about it, because you can't always do something about it if you don't know about it. So speak up, don't be afraid to share your thoughts and opinions as we go through the day. How does that feel? Good?
Awesome.
Sweet. Okay. So now, and I want to give you context for the mission moment. So we had a speaker who came and spoke to our board last fall. His name was Peter Brinkerhoff, and he's masterful, fabulous nonprofit expert. And he said, he gave us some advice, which was to start every meeting or every gathering of the staff or the board or volunteers with a mission moment. And the purpose of that is to kind of ground everyone in the purpose of our work, because in a nonprofit, the purpose of the nonprofit is mission. The purpose isn't margin or profit or dividends like it is in a for-profit, right? It is mission. So we ground ourselves in that, because sometimes in a nonprofit you're like, what are we doing? I mean, there's the feel good of the families and so forth, but we want to bring it back and sort of ground ourselves each meeting in a mission moment. So that's why we're here and talking about mission moments. So Angela is going to take us through a mission moment, and I don't need to set it up. I think you can just do it all, right?
Okay, so last March 19th, there was a family in Vernal, Utah. Some of you will, as I get talking about this, will remember this family. Mother was 40 years old and pregnant with twins. Hi Nathan, come on in. And she was 28 weeks long, and she had a complication. She had a tear, and she started to bleed, and they took her to the hospital. They said, we can't handle this here. You've got to go to the U. So they picked her up on Life Flight. They actually came in front of her home, and she saw her 2 daughters and her husband, who weren't allowed to get onto the helicopter with her, and came to Salt Lake. And the flight nurse said, you're going to lose your babies, but we need to save your life. So don't move, and they give her all this instruction. And so that's what she left Vernal with. And by the time she got to the hospital, she'd lost 6 liters of blood. And I'm setting this up for a reason. I'm giving you lots of details. But so the human body only has 6 liters of blood. She coded on the table. She just thought, okay, this is it. She woke up several hours later, and she said, I'm alive. And they said, and your babies, for now, are alive too. And so she had these 2 little twins. They were 2 pounds when they were born. And maybe, Kathy, can I ask you to flip that light switch, please? So 2 pounders, multiple health problems, and they kept telling her and her husband they probably won't live very long, and you can't touch them. They can't handle the simulation. So they spent a couple of weeks like this while Sandra healed, enough to come to the Ronald McDonald House. And so they came down here, and those babies just kept fighting, and they went through their battles with infection. They'd have really good days, and she'd come back to the house, and she'd be on top of the world because they'd had a great day, and then she'd come back and she'd be crying, and it was a real roller coaster, and we were witness to that. But these babies were just such fighters, and she was too. And they slowly could take out 1 tube or off 1 monitor here, every few weeks. And then those 2 daughters came. I'm sure that some of you remember Alyssa and Jenna, darling 9 and 6-year-old, that came and took advantage of all that this house had to offer. They got to love several staff members. They got to go to the zoo, they did crafts. Alyssa played her violin in one of our staff meetings, you may remember, and they got to know their little sisters and be close to them. And there were multiple notes that were written, but this is from Alyssa talking about how she loved the Ronald McDonald House. She got to play her violin at the staff meeting and dye tie-dye t-shirts and meet the Archie guy and make cards with Todd and Aaron. But of all the fun activities we enjoy, getting to know everyone. I love the Ronald McDonald House so much. And then they got to take those babies home. And Sandra said that they took them home on multiple monitors and with oxygen. And she said she had felt that it was a real loss to her because she lost the support of the hospital nearby. She lost the support of the staff, the volunteers, and the other moms. She got to be very close with other moms. She said she's still friends with many of them to this day. And the volunteers, even the volunteers, she was having health problems because of all that she'd been through. And there was one night that an Eagle Scout group was here for dinner, and they helped her through a kind of a medical condition that she had, and they had a shared faith, and they provided a lot of comfort. And so she, you know, it was just an amazing journey that that family had while they were here. And Greg, this is from an email that Greg sent out to all the staff. That'll just talk kind of a little bit about the kind of guests they were. We have a card at the front.